Sports Card Consultant here for another piece of content for you. Today I'm going to go over the top 20 cards that have what they've done in the past. Well, the top 20 cards that have went up over the past 30 days. And I'm also going to go over the top 5, the main 5 guys. You know, Luka, Trey, Tatum, Zion, and Ja. Going to go over what they did in the last 30 days too. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that I have the Sports Card Society, where every day, almost every day, I send out an exclusive video to my members outlining a specific sports card investment that I think is going to go up. And in that video, I also include the research and data and all of mine and my team's reasoning as to why we think that card is going to go up. So really valuable. For instance, we had about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we were investing in this Ja Morant. Here's November 18th. It sold for almost $1,500. The most recent went for $1,425. We were investing in it for around $650. There you go. See, end of October for $695, $670 there. So we made some pretty good gains there. We also invested there's lots of good cards, but I'm just giving you some examples. We also invested in the DeAndre Ayton 2018 Prism PSA 10. We were getting that for about $120, $110 to $120, and right now it's selling for around $200. So we've made some pretty good profits. And getting into the NBA season here, it'd be good for you to really have that edge of having us working our butts off to help you make as much money as possible off your sports card investing. And by the way, give this video a like if you find the content useful, and subscribe so you get alerted when new content like this comes out, because it's important to get alerted as soon as possible. One other thing about the Sports Card Society is you get access to our resources and contacts we've made over the years. And one of our contacts gets us 20-day PSA grading for just $25. Now, if you go on the PSA website, you'll see that they have 25-day grading for $50. So with our resource, you get 20-day grading for $25. But if you just go straight to PSA as a public member, you get 25-day grading for $50. So pretty good gain there. Anyways, link is in the description at sportscardsociety.com. This tool I'm going to be using here is the Market Movers tool. This is how I'm going to be showing you all of the data and what cards have gone up the most over the past 30 days, as well as what Luka and Trey and etc. have done over the past 30 days too. I'll leave a link to that in the description, the Market Movers tool. Use code SOCIETY for 20% off. One other thing, if you've never used StarStock, that is a very valuable way to flip sports cards same day, because eBay is great. You know, you buy and sell cards, but it takes some days to do that because you got to send them, you got to get them, you got to ship them, you got to receive them, stuff like that. Just cool and good. But StarStock allows you to buy a card same day and then post it on the site the same day and sell it. Anyways, I'll leave a link to that in the description too. Use code SportsCardConsultant and you'll get $10 free on StarStock once you deposit $10. All right, let's get rolling. So the top 20 guys, we got Mikal Bridges, Terrence Mann, John Wall, Chuma Okeke, TJ Warren. Now, some of these guys aren't really relevant. See, because they only got like one card. They don't have that many sales over the past 30 days. It went from $4. So over the past 30 days, the minimum sale of his card was about $4, and the max sale of his card is $25. So not all of these are relevant. John Wall, I would say, is relevant because he had that big trade, so he went from about $6 to $35. Plus, he's relevant probably going forward. And you can make an argument for these guys too. I'm just not terribly familiar with all of their situations. Darius Baisley, of course, he's gone up. That's been a guy that I've been hyping up to my society. Apparently, he's got 3 cards in here. That's another nice thing about. So I'm in Market Movers, like I said. I can just click this little button here. What I've done is I just went to the price movements by player. I chose basketball, and I chose over the last 30 days. I could have chose 90, 60, 14, 7, but I chose 30 because I think that gives us a pretty good picture right now as the preseason starts December 11th. I'm recording this December 10th. I don't know when you're watching it, but preseason starts December 11th. So I wanted to get a real good look at what has been going on the past 30 days, and Market Movers really helps me do that. So this is his Silver Prism Raw. You know, another nice thing here too is I can just click this button and it'll pull up his specific chart on that specific card for me. And I can go in here and manually do this too. This would be the popular card charts. But it just pulls this up for me, and this shows me what's happened with him in the past 3 months. So, and it really gives me a good visual about what's going on. Overall, the card is going up, but as you can see, from this period to this period, it was really going down. But from here to now, it's been going up. So that's really interesting. And as you can see, it goes up and down and up and down. So it looks like, $82 and $70. So I think right now, if you can get this card for around $70 or less, you're doing pretty good as long as you believe in Darius Bazley this year. I think he's going to have the best year of his career. I'll say that much. And I think that means something for his cards. So I'm going to close this out now. Let's get to the next player. See, I also look at his Prism Silver PSA 10 and his Silver PSA 9. And it tells you what they've gone for: minimum sale in the past 30 days, maximum sale in the past 30 days. Looks like, of course, the Raw has had the biggest gain. DeAndre Ayton, again, that was a guy that I was pumping pretty hard to my society. 38 cards. This is very relevant. 1,000 transactions. This is a very relevant thing here. His Prism Purple went from 45 to 50. His Prism, a lot of Prisms. Prism Base, this is the one I was recommending. See, we were getting it for around 120. Looks like the max sale got up to about 250. I've been noticing going for around 200, maybe up to 220. I haven't checked in a couple days. Maybe it went up some. But it looks like the max sale in the past 30 days is 250. Like I said, my side and I were getting it for around 120. And within a matter of a couple weeks, we were selling it for 200, so that's a pretty good gain. Although I bought several, I sold enough to make a little profit overall, and I'm holding on to some because I expect him to have some pretty good games and some good spikes in his card value. 38 cards. I'm not going to go through all of them with you, but this is one of the magics. Sure, we'll go with it. Magics, that's a word, right? One of the magic things about market movers is just being able to do this, or having some kind of tool that can visualize this for you and really just present you with this. Saves you so much time, so much mental hemorrhaging. Anyways, Bradley Beal, another guy I'm really high on this year. He's like the best basketball player nobody knows about. That's how I feel about him. Because he's on the Wizards, and he was in that majestic 2012 draft class, Anthony Davis being number 1 overall. Bradley Beal was in it. Jimmy Butler was in it. Dame Lillard, and several other people. But I think that he's going to become more well-known this year because it's crazy. He's like one of the top 5 NBA scorers last year, and he's just a really productive, he's an all-star, amazing player. But I feel like he's just someone. If you're really into basketball, sure, you know about him. But I think your casual fan doesn't know who the hell Bradley Beal is. And I think this year a lot more casual fans are going to know who Bradley Beal is, especially with that trade that went on and Russell Westbrook. So I think that's really going to help. So Bradley Beal is someone I'm really high on. Jonathan Isaac, I'm not going to open up that one. Let's look at the next 10. Who do we got here? Shea Gil, of course, this is a very relevant stat. 1,300 sales. Minimum sale doesn't really matter there in that case, but it does here. It's Optic Purple Raw, pretty niche-y card, not a ton of those. Many more of these cards, apparently only 14 sales in the past 30 days. That kind of surprised me. But as you can see, the lowest sale was 825, going up to 1,800. What's the pop count on this? I'm going to click this card, open it up real quick. And one thing I forgot to show you before is, so that's what his card's done overall in the past 3 months. And I can adjust the date here, but 3 months is a pretty good window for me to look at. And click here and just see what the card looks like. Oh, that's cool. What's up, Shea? I don't have this in the silver, actually. I have several of his base, and I got one that I'm actually going to be sending in for grading here in a second. But I guess there's only 393 of them, so that makes sense that there's only like 14 transactions in the past 30 days. So that's another nice thing about market movers is right here it tells me how many of these cards are in existence. Right now, 393 PSA 10s in existence. Click this button to go to for sale on eBay. I can add it to my favorites. I can add it to my collection, which is a really cool feature. That I can just add cards into my collection, and Market Movers keeps track of my cards for me. So a lot of my cards that I have, I just keep track of them and organize them in my collection here on Market Movers, and it'll show me what's going up, what's going down, what it's done in the past time frame, and everything like that. So it really helped me make a decision of when to sell it. And then I can just add a price alert to this card or any card. Say, hey, if the card goes below a certain price, alert me. which would typically be when I want to buy it. And if the card goes above a certain price, alert me, and that would typically be when I'm looking to sell it. So let's close that out. A lot of Shea, 55 cards. What was his top gainer? It's Optic Purple Raw. Not quite relevant because only 8 sales. I mean, sure, I guess that makes sense. I guess that would. I'd say this is very relevant. I'd say that's extremely relevant. That's obviously going to be one of the most relevant of all. 92 sales in 30 days. Went from $215 to $499. Fantastic. You can just click these icons here too. Let's see who. Ooh, Prism Base Raw. That makes sense. Went from 15 to 96. I didn't realize it got up that high. Actually, I was buying these for like 15, 20 bucks. My society and I didn't realize it got up that high because I didn't really pay attention to what it was selling for raw because I was buying with the intention to get them graded. I don't think, not all the ones I got I'm going to send in for grading. So this is really good to know. I'm probably going to list some of these here very quickly in the raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Courtside, a darling of a card that has been going up, not just with Shea, but with everybody, because the hobby's starting to become more aware how rare courtsides are and how cool of cards they are. Who else got a lot of Prism Silver PSA 9? That's went up a good amount. What does it say? It says 43%. I know you're looking at this like, well, that's a little more than 43%, but just bear with it. Optic Base, money, it's doubled. 38% is kind of an average of the sales, not just the minimum maximum. That's what that is. So I'm going to close Shea up. I had this Chronicles insert card of Shea numbered to 99 PSA 10. I'm excited to see what that does this year. It's hard to keep track on a card like that. Grant Williams, Marvin Bagley, another guy that a lot of people have been talking about. His cards have been going up. That makes sense. Hyper Pink, that's pretty niche card. See, here's more relevant. Pretty good. Actually, I didn't realize he'd gone up that much. Again, that's why having a tool like this, Market Movers, is so important. Link in description. Use code SOCIETY for 20% off. PJ, that makes sense. Another guy that I've been buying and recommending to my society. Markel Fultz, another guy that I've been buying and recommending to my society. John Collins. Ben Simmons, not so much Ben Simmons. I've bought some Ben Simmons, but I haven't been a hard recommendation on him because I mean, last year I was pretty hard on him. That sounds strange when I say it that way. Goodness. But his cards have gone up a little more than I thought, I guess. All right. So those were the top 20 cards that had gone up, players rather, that had gone up over the past 30 days. So keep that in mind. Now, where did I put that? Here it is. So I also pulled up in the last 30 days. Trey, Luka, Tatum, Zion, Ja. I pulled up their Prism Base PSA 10s. And I could have selected the 9. I could have selected the raw. I could select all of them at once. I could select multiple variations, the silver, the, you name it. But I pulled them all up. Base is probably the most relevant to really look at. And here they are in their number, or color coordinated rather. And of course, at the top, guess who orange is? Going to be your boy Luka for sure. So what he's done in the past, well, here's what I like to do. This is the price changes that we're looking at. So say Luka, he went for $14.38. You see that in the orange there. Back around 30 days ago, and today he's going for around $17.79. So that's a pretty decent gain. I was buying most of my Lukas in October, honestly, and I was getting this card for around $1,200, $1,250, because it's just like obvious it's going to go up. Same thing with Trey and Ja. I didn't really buy that many Tatums. I don't know why. I regret that. I did not buy, I don't think, any Zions, just because I probably should have, looking back at it, because whether I believe in him or not, his cards were low, and if I had bought them, I don't need him to have a great year. I just need him to have a few good games, and the market's going to go apeshit about him. And then you just sell, which is what I would have done. Now, I probably still could, but I'm not gonna. I'm still not gonna. Just Zion, I just feel it in my gut. I feel too iffy about him, too uncertain for the hype and his price. So I like Ja, Trey, Luka, Tatum more. But here's one thing I like. So that's price change. Let's look at the price change by percentage. See who's gone up the most. Ooh, if orange is still Trey did not go up the most. Who is gold? It's Trey. The Trey Prism base. Oh, his 2019. Really? Goodness. That makes some sense. Here we are. Month ago going for $42, but how much you going for now? 56. But so I don't know how relevant. It's relevant. I'm not that big into second year cards. Here we are. Today's values. It looks like Tatum is really the one that went up the most, 25%. Because these are the guys that I really believe in. These are the guys that really kind of lead the modern market. And then after this, I don't want to say not modern, not vintage for sure, but then it's like Giannis, LeBron, Curry, are probably the guys in that middle market. And then LeBron's in his own spot, period, end of sentence. And then there's everybody else before him. Then it's actually really kind of vintage. Then you got your Kobe, you got your Michael, stuff like that. But here's what they've done. It's really interesting to look at, to see how these charts have gone on a percentage gain basis. Looks like Tatum. Has there not been a Prism-based sale of Tatum? Tatum 2018. That's why, because who cares? It's not his rookie year. Let's go back here. Let's look. Ja Prism. Over the past 30 days, looks like it's gone up about $45 is what they're saying. Depending on the day you buy it, that's for sure. Tatum. Again, the low sale for these guys, $570 up to $1,000. Saying this 2018 Tatum, I'm not going to care about. See, this is where I was buying Luka at. Luka was at right around here for like a month. And that's where you're like, all right, that's the bottom. This is where I buy because he only goes up from here, barring injury, etc. 2018 Trey, buying him on October 2, getting him for around $425. And he averages saying $588, but his cards got up to $900, but they were floating around $700. This, if this is true, they've gone down a little bit more than I thought. And then last but not least, Zion. I just can't justify it, right? Look at 14,000 of these mother effers. 77 of that, he's barely played. Trey is a lights out scorer. I am buying his. There's less of them, and I believe, and I have more evidence and more data on him than I do Zion. And Zion's got injuries and all this shit. So this is why I was buying Trey heavy and recommending that to my society too. And that panned out pretty well so far because we were buying him around $400 to $450 for about an entire month. And then he spiked all the way up to $700. And I sold a couple around $700 to kind of break even. And now I want to see what the season does because watch when this guy puts up 50 points. That's going to make his cards go bananas. Zion, he could do that too. But he's fat and he is hurt. Like I just don't want to put my money in that. Is there a very high ceiling for his cards' values to go to? You damn right. But there's also a hell of a floor, I think. Because it's like, this is kind of his last chance. Like if he keeps being unhealthy, if he keeps being injured, and he keeps being fat, then people are going to be like, they're over it. Like I'm kind of over him. So these are the guys, right? These are the guys that led the way. I hope this was useful. Give this video a like if you found it useful. Subscribe so you can get alerted of content right away. Join the Sports Card Society. It's only $9.99 a month. SportsCardSociety.com. Link is in the description. If you like this Market Movers tool, link is also in the description. Use code SOCIETY for 20% off. And remember, StarStock is a great place to buy and sell cards quickly, to flip them. There's a link for that in the description too. Use code SportsCardConsultant and you'll get $10 free on StarStock once you deposit $10. All right. Happy basketball season. Preseason starts on Friday. So exciting. Stay classy. You're awesome.